You're sleeping in my quarters tonight. Bring nothing. Silence. 23 women stop breathing. The translator's voice cracks on the last word. Sachiko Murakami, 24, hears something different. She hears strip. Every woman in this mud-soaked processing camp hears the same phantom word. The American commander stands 6 feet away. Captain Raymond Holt, 31, corn-fed Iowa, shoulders like a refrigerator. He's not smiling. He's not frowning. His face is nothing. And nothing is worse than anger. 67,000 Japanese soldiers captured by July 1945. Only 412 were women. Tonight, 23 of them stand in this room. Sachiko is one of them. America jin wa kedamono da, ono wa saigo ni shinu, subete no ato de. Americans are beasts. Women die last, after everything else. That's what the training officer screamed at them in Okinawa. That's what the pamphlets showed. Drawings of American soldiers with devil horns, women torn apart. Propaganda maybe, but propaganda built on something, right? Every lie has a seed. Holt turns toward the wooden structure behind the processing tent. His boots squelch in the mud. 3 steps. 4. The door is rough pine, unpainted, hinges rusted orange. He wraps his fingers around the handle, pulls. The door swings open. Sachiko's stomach drops. Her throat tightens. Beside her, Reiko Kobayashi, 19, youngest nurse in the unit, hasn't stopped shaking since capture, grabs her wrist, nails digging crescents into skin. "What's inside?" Reiko whispers. Sachiko doesn't answer. She can't see yet. Holt's body blocks the doorway, backlit by something warm, flickering, orange. Fire? No, not fire. Softer. He steps aside. 23 cots, clean mattresses, wool blankets, folded, not thrown, pillows, a potbelly stove in the corner, chimney pipe punched through the roof, glow pulsing like a heartbeat. No men inside, no weapons, no restraints, no ropes. The stove is already warm. Sachiko's brain stutters. This makes no sense. Warm means someone prepared this, someone expected them. But when? The convoy arrived 20 minutes ago. Holt couldn't have, unless this isn't for them, unless this is for officers, American officers, and the women are here to... Her vision narrows. Reiko's grip tightens. Behind them, Tomo Ishikawa, 27, senior nurse from Nagasaki, whispers something no one hears. Holt speaks again. 3 words this time. Go inside. Sleep. He doesn't follow. He doesn't touch them. He doesn't even look at them directly. He turns, walks back toward the processing tent, and disappears into the rain. The door stays open. No lock. No guard inside. What the hell is happening? The door stays open. Rain drums against the tin roof. No one moves. Sachiko counts the cots again. 23, exactly 23. Someone knew how many women were coming. Someone counted. Kore wa wanada, kanarazu wanada. This is a trap. It must be a trap. Tomoe says it first, but everyone is thinking it. The stove crackles. Heat radiates outward. Real heat, not the thin warmth of a dying fire. Someone fed this stove within the hour. Wood costs fuel, costs time. Why waste it on prisoners? Japanese propaganda answer, softening before the real horror. But Reiko takes the first step. Her boots cross the threshold. The floorboards creak but hold. She reaches the nearest cot, touches the blanket, pulls her hand back like it burned her. It's clean, she whispers. It's actually clean. 61 days since any of them touched clean fabric. Sachiko knows because she counted. 61 days of blood-crusted uniforms, dirt-stiff bandages, the same undergarments worn until they dissolved. And now this, white wool, folded corners, the smell of soap. One by one the women enter. Tomo last, checking behind them constantly. The doorway remains empty. Rain, mud, nothing else. Then Haruki Sato, 22, field medic, hands still trembling from the firefight that ended her freedom, spots something on the far cot. Paper, single sheet, Japanese characters. She picks it up. Her lips move silently, then stop. "What does it say?" Sachiko asks. Haruki's voice cracks. You are safe. No man will enter tonight. Sleep. Silence. Then Tomo laughs. A broken sound, glass on concrete. Safe? That word died in Nanking. But hours pass. The stove burns lower, but someone, no one sees who, adds wood through a small exterior hatch. The heat never fades. Guards patrol outside, boots crunching gravel, but none approach the door. None even look through the gap. One guard stops 15 meters out. Young, American, rifle slung over shoulder, not raised. He faces away from the building. Naze kare wa watashi tachi ominai no ka. Why won't he look at us? Sachiko watches him through a crack in the pine boards. His breath steams white. His shoulders shake. Cold or something else? He's maybe 20 years old, the same age as the soldiers who surrendered at Okinawa, crying for their mothers. Dawn approaches. Gray light bleeds through the slats. No one entered. No one touched them. The note sits folded in Haruki's pocket now, words burned into memory. Then the door opens again. A woman stands there. American, Red Cross armband, holding towels. Good morning. Who needs the bathroom first? 23 women stare. The American nurse waits, smiles, not wide, not fake, just patient. Lieutenant Dorothy Callahan, 33, Army Nurse Corps, South Boston accent softened by years overseas. She holds a stack of white towels like they weigh nothing. Behind her, steam rises from somewhere. Hot water. Hot water. Sachiko's brain refuses to process. Hot water requires fuel, equipment, time, intention. None of these belong to prisoners. Prisoners get cold streams, if anything. Prisoners get watched while they squat behind bushes. Kore wa jinmon no mai no junbika. Is this preparation before interrogation? The thought flashes through every woman simultaneously. Clean them up, make them presentable, then extract information through other means. The propaganda films showed it. American interrogators with smiling faces and bloody hands. But Dot just waits, still holding the towels. Bathing is private, she says slowly, clearly. One at a time. I stand guard outside. No men within 100 meters. General's orders. Japanese rations for female military personnel, 800 calories daily. American POW camp standard, 2,800 calories. These women weigh 30% below healthy baseline. Their ribs show through torn uniforms. Their hair falls out in clumps. Reiko moves first. She's the youngest, the most afraid, but also the most desperate. 47 days without bathing. She can smell herself constantly, a shame that never fades. Dot leads her behind a canvas partition. Inside, a metal basin, steaming, lye soap, harsh but real, a clean cotton undergarment folded beside it. Take your time, Dot says. I'm right outside. The canvas flap closes. Reiko stands alone. Water vapor curls upward. She touches the surface, flinches, touches again. Hot. Actually hot. Her hands shake as she undresses. Months of grime layer her skin like armor. She steps into the basin. Water sloshes over the edge. She doesn't care. For 7 minutes, she scrubs, watches brown water turn black, feels human for the first time since the bunker fell. Outside, Sachiko watches the canvas partition, waiting for it to tear open, waiting for the betrayal. Every second stretched into hours. The flap opens. Reiko emerges, clean hair wet against her skull, new undergarments beneath her old uniform, eyes red-rimmed, crying or scrubbing impossible to tell. She says nothing, just nods at Sachiko. One by one the women bathe. Dot refills the basin each time, never rushes, never comments on scars, bruises, or wounds. Then she sees Fumiko's back and stops breathing. The scars form letters, Japanese characters carved into flesh, healed pink and raised. Fumiko Nakagawa, 21, freezes with her back exposed. She knows what Dot is seeing. She's felt those ridges every night since Manchuria. The characters spell coward. America Jinga Shukuteki Nara Nazi kare wa watashi o kizutsuketa no ka? If Americans are the enemy, why did he hurt me? Dot's hand rises, slowly, announcing itself, and rests on Fumiko's shoulder, not grabbing, just there. Weight without force. Who did this? Fumiko's throat burns. The truth climbs up, acid and shame. My commanding officer, Lieutenant Colonel Ota, punishment for hesitation. Hesitation. She'd paused before amputating a soldier's leg without anesthesia. 3 seconds of hesitation. Ota saw, Ota remembered. That night 4 men held her down while he carved the lesson into her skin. 340 documented cases of corporal punishment against Japanese female military personnel in 1944-45 alone. Unreported cases estimated 3 times higher. Their own army, their own officers, their own knives. Dot doesn't recoil, doesn't gasp, doesn't perform shock. She reaches past Fumiko, grabs the white blanket from the stack, and wraps it around her shoulders. Careful around the scars. You're not a coward, Dot says quietly. You're a nurse who hesitated before hurting someone. That's not weakness. Fumiko's knees buckle. She catches herself on the basin edge. Water splashes, goes cold, but the blanket stays. Warmth against the word carved into her back. Outside, Sachiko watches the partition. Minutes pass. When Fumiko emerges, the blanket is still wrapped around her shoulders. Her eyes are dry, but something behind them has cracked open. What happened? Tomo whispers. Fumiko shakes her head. Not now. Maybe never. That night, the women sleep in shifts. Old habit. Guards patrol outside, but the pattern has changed. They're louder now, deliberately. Boots crunching gravel, tin cups clanking against rifles. Making noise. Making sure the women know they're out there. Not hiding, not sneaking. At 0400, Captain Holt appears at the doorway. Doesn't enter. Stands in the rain, uniform soaked, and speaks directly to Sachiko. I need to meet with you. My quarters. Now. Every woman stops breathing. Sachiko stands, legs steady despite the earthquake inside. She's the senior nurse. If anyone goes, it's her. Tomoe grabs her wrist. Don't. Sachiko peels the fingers away. Gentle, but firm. If I don't come back by dawn, tell the Red Cross woman. She steps into the rain. Holt walks ahead. Doesn't touch her. Doesn't look back. His quarters are 30 meters away. The tent is 10 feet by 10 feet. A cot, a desk, a kerosene lamp. On the desk, a photograph. Woman and 2 children, smiling. Holt gestures to a folding chair. Sits behind the desk. Distance between them, 4 feet. He doesn't close the gap. Sit, please. Sachiko sits, back straight, hands folded, ready for whatever comes. Her pulse hammers so loud she's certain he can hear it. Kare wa nazi watashi no kyoka o motomeru no ka, watashi wa horio da. Why is he asking permission? I'm a prisoner. Holt opens a folder. Inside, names, Japanese names, her nurses' names. Beside each, notes in English she can't fully read. Medical abbreviations, conditions. 19 of your women tested positive for tuberculosis, he says. 3 have untreated fractures. 7 show signs of severe malnutrition. Refeeding will require careful protocol or their organs fail. 1 has glass embedded in her foot from a blast 3 weeks ago. He looks up, meets her eyes for the first time. I'm asking your permission to treat them. U.S. Army Protocol POWM 7. All prisoners receive identical medical care to American personnel. No exceptions. Japanese equivalent for female soldiers. Field expedient care only. Bandages. No surgery. No anesthesia. Wait and see. Why? The word escapes before Sachiko can stop it. Holt doesn't blink. Because that's the rule. Rules didn't apply at Bataan. Rules didn't apply at... I know. His voice drops. I know what your army did. I've seen the photographs from the march. 8,000 dead in 70 miles. Silence. The lamp flickers. Shadows dance across the photograph of his wife and children. I can't undo Bataan, Holt says. I can't undo anything my country has done wrong either. But I can control what happens in this camp, in my tent, with your nurses. Sachiko's chest tightens. Not fear now. Something worse. Confusion, gratitude. Both feel like betrayal. The woman with the towels, Sachiko says. Dorothy, she prepared the room last night? Holt nods. Arrived at Zoro 200. Spent 4 hours setting up. Wanted everything ready before you arrived. 4 hours. For prisoners. For the enemy. Watashi tachi wateki nanoni. Even though we're the enemy. The kerosene lamp gutters. Holt reaches out, adjusts the wick. Light steadies. One more question, Sachiko says. Then I'll go. He waits. Why is that photograph facing outward, toward visitors? Holt looks at the image. His wife Clara, 31, schoolteacher. His daughters, 8 and 5. So I remember who I am when the visitors come. Open your mouth. Reiko obeys. The American doctor, Captain Samuel Vaughn, 39, Boston general before the war, shines a penlight down her throat. He doesn't touch her tongue, doesn't force the light deeper, just looks, nods, withdraws. Slight inflammation, nothing serious. Next. The examination room is a converted supply tent. Metal tables, white sheets, the smell of rubbing alcohol sharp enough to sting eyes. 23 women wait in line, each dreading their turn. Kore wa dokubutsu dato omoteta. I thought this was poison. When the tuberculin needle slides into Haruki's arm, she faints. Hits the ground before anyone can catch her. The women behind her flinch. 3 of them bolt for the exit, but Dot blocks the doorway. Not physically, just stands there, palms up, voice calm. It's ink, just ink. Shows if you're sick, that's all. Watch. She rolls up her own sleeve, shows a faded mark on her forearm, same test, years ago. See? Still here, still alive, still healthy. TB infection rate among Japanese female POWs in American custody, 83%. Among U.S. Army nurses in the same theater, 4%. The difference isn't genetics, it's food, sanitation, medicine, all controlled by their own army. The examinations continue. Dental checks, 3 cavities each, average. Vision tests. Tomo needs glasses, hasn't had them in 2 years. Nutritional assessments, every woman falls below minimum thresholds. Captain Vaughn makes notes. No judgment in his handwriting, just data. Then he reaches Sachiko's file, pauses, reads something, reads it again. His face changes, not alarm, curiosity. Murakami, Sachiko Murakami. She nods. Your husband, Sergeant Kenji Murakami. Her blood freezes. They know about Kenji. They have files. They have, he's alive. The words don't register. Vaughn says them again. Captured 2 weeks ago. Camp 7C, 40 miles. East. Arm wound treated. Currently stable. Sachiko's knees give out. This time, Dot catches her. Lowers her into a chair. The white blanket, passed from Fumiko hours earlier, ends up wrapped around her shoulders. 7 months since Kenji's last letter. 7 months believing he was dead in some jungle, rotting unburied, forgotten. Kare wa shinda iru to omoteta, demo kare wa watashi o sagashiteta. I thought he was dead, but he was looking for me. Vaughn hands her a paper, radio transcript. Kenji's words translated into English, then retranslated into Japanese by someone's careful hand. Is my wife among the captured nurses? Please check. Her name is Sachiko. She reads it 4 times, feels the ink under her fingertips. Then the radio crackles again. Different news. A city called Hiroshima. August 6, 1945. The radio operator's face goes white. Hiroshima is gone. Corporal Eddie Sullivan, 23, Chicago, has relayed thousands of messages since landing in the Pacific. Troop movements, casualty reports, supply requests. But this, he reads it again, reads it a 3rd time. The words don't change. 1 bomb, 1 plane, 1 city. In the women's barracks, Tomoe hears fragments through the thin walls. American voices, excited and horrified in equal measure. She catches syllables. Atomic radiation surrender. Then, 80,000 dead. Uso da bakudan hitotsu de machiwakienai. Lies. One bomb doesn't erase a city. But the next morning, photographs arrive. Holt doesn't show them to the prisoners, not directly, but Sachiko sees his face when he exits the radio tent, ashen, hollowed, like a man who's witnessed something that rewrote his understanding of war. She approaches him. Protocol be damned. Is it true? Hiroshima? Holt looks at her for a long moment. The photograph of his daughters burns in her memory. He has children. Somewhere in Iowa, two little girls are sleeping, unaware their father just learned cities can evaporate. Yes, one word, enough. Sachiko's legs carry her back to the barracks. She tells the others. Tomoe collapses onto her cot. Reiko just stares, too young to process apocalypse. Fumiko traces the blanket's edge with shaking fingers. Haruki counts silently. 80,000. More than every soldier she's ever treated combined. More than every body she's stepped over in 3 years of war. Gone in a flash brighter than sunrise. Watashi tachi no kazoku wa doko ni iru? Where are our families? The question spreads like wildfire. Sachiko's parents live in Osaka. Tomoe's brother was stationed near Kure. Fumiko's entire village sits 30 miles from Hiroshima's city center. The radio offers no answers. Not yet. Not for days. But something else happens in that silence. The American guards, who've kept their distance for a week now, start bringing extra blankets, extra food, coffee, bitter and black, in metal cups that warm frozen hands. No one ordered them to. The war isn't over. Japan hasn't surrendered. But Private First Class Danny Kowalski, 19, Detroit, lost his mother to pneumonia when he was 12. He remembers the hospital, the waiting, the not knowing. He leaves a cigarette pack outside the barracks door. Doesn't smoke himself. Small gestures, meaningless against atomic fire. But Sachiko finds them that evening, wrapped in a note scrawled in broken Japanese. Sorry for your pain. She keeps the note in her pocket, keeps the blanket around her shoulders. August 9th. Nagasaki. Nagasaki. Tomoe's hometown. Gone. The news arrives at 600. She doesn't scream, doesn't collapse, just sits on her cot, blanket pulled at her feet, staring at a point on the wall that doesn't exist. 70,000 dead. Or more. Numbers still coming in. Her brother was stationed at the Naval Yard. Her parents lived 3 miles from ground zero. The math is brutal. 3 miles means maybe. Maybe means hope. Hope means torture. Watashi wa kazoku no saigo o shiranai. Keshite shiranai kamo shiranai. I don't know my family's fate. I may never know. Dot enters without knocking, protocols abandoned after the first bomb. She carries nothing. No towels, no food, no news. She just sits beside Tomo on the cot, shoulder to shoulder, says nothing. 30 minutes pass. Tomo's breathing steadies. Eventually she speaks. Why are you here? Because no one should sit alone after hearing that. Simple, not enough. But also everything. Outside, Captain Holt paces the perimeter. 3 days without sleep. The war is ending. Everyone knows it now. But the ending feels like a different kind of violence. 2 cities reduced to shadows. An emperor preparing to speak. Surrenders don't feel like victories when measured in atomic fallout. The women's barracks becomes a strange sanctuary. American nurses rotate through. Dot, then Lieutenant Catherine Walsh, 29, Philadelphia, then Sergeant Rosa Martinez, 34, San Antonio. They bring small things, photographs of their own families, candy bars smuggled from officer rations, a handwritten phrase book, English to Japanese, Japanese to English, assembled overnight by a private who never saw combat. Fumiko studies the phrase book by candlelight. Her first English sentence, "Thank you for the blanket." She practices it 14 times before saying it aloud to Dot. Buranket o arigatou. Mixed languages, both understood. August 15, 1945. The Emperor's voice crackles over radio speakers across the Pacific, high-pitched, Formal speaking words never spoken before in Japan's history. We have resolved to endure the unendurable. Surrender. In the barracks, 23 women listen. Some weep, some don't react at all. Sachiko holds the white blanket against her chest, remembering the note from that first night. You are safe. No man will enter. Sleep. The war is over. She survived. Her husband is alive somewhere in Camp 7C. But Tomo's family is ash. Fumiko's village is radiation. The victory belongs to no one. Holt stands outside the barracks at sunset. Doesn't enter. Doesn't speak. His photograph is still facing outward on the desk. 2 little girls, waiting in Iowa. Now what? Manila, September 12, 1945. Processing Center for Prisoner Transfers. Sachiko hasn't slept in 31 hours. The transport from Okinawa took 4 days. Cargo planes, military trucks, waiting rooms that smelled like oil and sweat. She's lost 7 pounds since capture, gained 3 back. The white blanket is folded in her bag. She refused to leave it behind. Kenji wa koko ni iru, doko ka ni? Kenji is here, somewhere. The processing center stretches across 3 hangars. Thousands of POWs moving in lines. Japanese soldiers heading toward repatriation ships. Families searching for names on bulletin boards covered in handwritten notices. Missing, seeking, found. Sachiko scans every board, every face, every uniform. Her heart beats so hard her ribs ache. Then she sees him, 3rd hangar, near the medical station, left arm in a sling, uniform replaced with American-issue fatigues. He's thinner than she remembers, older by decades. But the way he stands, weight shifted to his right side, head tilted when listening, hasn't changed. She doesn't run. Her legs won't allow it. She walks, steady, eyes locked on his back. He turns. Sachiko. Her name? His voice. Enough. They collide in the middle of the hangar. Neither speaks for 11 minutes. Just breathing, just holding, just proving the other is real. Around them, chaos continues. Reunion after reunion. Some joyful, families restored, children finding parents. Some devastating. Names on lists that say, deceased, photographs clutched by hands that won't stop shaking. Private Danny Kowalski, the one who left the cigarette pack, passes Sachiko's position with a line of transferring POWs. He recognizes her, nods once, keeps walking. Small gestures. This war was made of them. Kenji finally speaks. Voice raw. Your letters stopped. I thought the same. His last letter, received 7 months ago in Manchuria, contained one line that kept her alive through everything. If we're separated, find the Americans. They keep records. They'll find me. She didn't believe him then. She believed their propaganda instead. Americans are beasts. Records are lies. Hope is weakness. But he was right. They kept records. Every POW cataloged, every name cross-referenced. The same bureaucracy that organized invasion also organized reunion. The blanket sits heavy in Sachiko's bag. She'll explain it later. The room with 23 cots. The woman with towels. The captain with daughters who made him remember what kind of man to be. For now she just holds her husband in a hangar full of strangers. The war is over. Something else is beginning. Kyoto, Japan, 1997. A glass case in a small apartment. Inside the case, a white wool blanket. Yellowed now. Edges frayed. Moth holes along one corner patched with thread that doesn't quite match. Sachiko Murakami, 76 years old, stands beside it. Visitors ask the same question every time. Naze sore o tamoteru no? Why do you keep it? The answer changes depending on the day. Sometimes she mentions Dot, letters exchanged for 44 years, until Dorothy Callahan died in Boston, 1989. Sometimes she mentions Holt, the photograph of his daughters that taught her captors could also be fathers. Today, she tells the truth. That was the first night someone treated me like a human being, not an enemy, not a number, a human. Teki ga watashi tachi osukuta, ima, Watashi wa teki ga nani o imisuru no ka wakaranai. The enemy saved us. Now I don't know what enemy means. Of 23 women who entered that barracks in July 1945, 21 survived the war. 14 had children. 6 immigrated to the United States, including Fumiko Nakagawa, who became a surgeon in Los Angeles, removed the scar from her own back in 1962, and never looked at it again. 0 filed complaints against their American captors. Tomoe Ishikawa returned to what remained of Nagasaki, found no family, built a clinic for orphaned children instead, worked there for 37 years. Reiko Kobayashi, the youngest, the most afraid, married an American translator she met at a processing center. 3 children, all bilingual. 1 became a history professor who specialized in POW studies. Captain Raymond Holt retired to Iowa in 1947. His daughters grew up hearing one story, the night he gave 23 women a warm room and a handwritten note. You are safe. No man will enter. Sleep. He died in 1983. His granddaughter found the story and submitted it to a veterans' oral history project. It was filed, forgotten, then rediscovered in 2019 by a researcher looking for something else entirely. The blanket in Sachiko's apartment has a label now, added by her son after she passed. It reads, "First night I was treated as human." July 1945, Okinawa. In war, the smallest decisions, a warm room, a note, a blanket folded instead of thrown, can rewrite what enemy means. Not for nations, not for history books, for one person standing in a doorway, deciding who to become. You're sleeping in my quarters tonight. Bring nothing. She brought nothing, she left with everything.